Welcome back. Amusing and interesting thought-provoking items on time travel. According to Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, time and space are linked together. Einstein also said our universe has a speed limit. Nothing can travel faster than the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second. This theory says that the faster you travel, the slower you experience time. Scientists have done some experiments to show that this is true. One famous story about time travel is Eduard Albert Meier and the Plejarens. The story goes, Meier was abducted by a race of aliens called the Plejaren, back in 1970, who decided to take him on a journey through time. Meier claimed that the aliens took him to prehistoric Earth as well as the ancient surface of Mars, where he met Emmanuel, Jesus. The photographic evidence that he had turned out to be a creatively decorated garbage lid with blurry images taken from contemporary books and TV shows. In this humorous story about time travel, the story of John Titor, who claimed to be from the year 2036. He first showed up on internet discussion boards in the late 1990s with predictions of the future that food and livestock will be grown locally. Plus, people would spend more time reading and talking together, and religion was taken seriously, along with everyone could multiply and divide in their heads. He also made some interesting claims about Y2K. He believed that the 2004 Olympics would be cancelled due to world conflict. Then sometime in 2001, Titor disappeared, claiming he needed to return to his own time. Most of his predictions have been proven completely false. Have you heard about the time travel story of Rudolph Fentz? That in the 1950s, a guy with mutton chop sideburns and Victorian-era duds mysteriously appeared from nowhere in the middle of Times Square. According to eyewitnesses, the man looked startled and was eventually run over by a car and killed. When his body was searched, 19th-century money was found as well as documents dating from 1876 that didn't appear to have aged a day. The man's name, Rudolph Fentz, was found among the documents. A Mrs. Rudolph was later tracked down, who just so happened to be the widow of Rudolph Fentz Jr., the mysterious dead man's son. And that Rudolph Jr. stated how his father disappeared one day in 1876 and never returned. Shortly after, it was discovered that the story originated from a 1950s short story by Jack Finney. Now for this humorous story about time travel, the Philadelphia experiment. According to the story, back in the early 1940s, the U.S. Navy was able to render the destroyer USS Eldridge invisible and move it. The warship was dematerialized and transported to Philadelphia from Norfolk, Virginia, and back again. Some even claim the vessel was sent backward in time by 10 seconds. Apparently, the experiment didn't go quite as planned and some of the crew remained invisible. There is no real evidence about these claims. The time traveler Andrew Carlson in 2002 managed to turn an $800 investment into $350 million by trading in high-risk stocks. Carlson was arrested and later confessed he was a time traveler from the year 2256. Sadly, this one is also not true. Have you ever heard of a fantastical device called the chronovisor? The device was invented by a Benedictine monk called Father Pellegrino Ornetti in the 1950s. His invention was a form of magical television camera that could tune into times and places in the past. By all accounts, the device was used to record footage of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, among other things. The device, as well as the footage, is now apparently held within the vaults of the Vatican, never to be seen by the outside world. We'll let you decide on the validity of this story. The interesting tale of Royal Air Force Commander Robert Victor Goddard flying over the abandoned RAF station Drem, in Scotland, in 1935, Goddard claims he experienced a time slip of some kind. The airfield had been decommissioned after WW1, and this is what Goddard saw on his first pass over it. However, on his return trip, he got waylaid in a storm and struggled to regain control. When he did, the storm let up and Goddard was amazed to find the airfield apparently in use with aircraft and even engineers milling around. Seconds later, the storm reappeared and Goddard once again fought to keep control. He made it home safely but later wrote about his experiences in the 1970s book, Flight Towards Reality. However, the strange thing is that the Drem airfield was indeed recommissioned in 1939 in preparation for the Second World War. In this tale about time travel, is the tale of Project Pegasus. When in 2011, Two men, Andrew D. Basiago and William Stillings, claimed that they were former time travelers who had worked with a supposedly DARPA program called Project Pegasus. The project, so they claimed, was conducted throughout the 1970s and 1980s, and the pair were chosen for a mission to Mars. Allegedly, they were to travel there using some mixture of time travel and teleportation. They also claimed to have met a young Barack Obama who was also part of the program. The claims were later officially denied by the White House. And finale, another never-ending humorous story about time travel, the story about the hipster time traveler. Sporting sunglasses and what appears to be a t-shirt and matching textured sweater, he was very out of place for a 1940s photograph. It first became famous in the early 2010s, and the photo is genuine. It shows the 1941 reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Gold Bridge, British Columbia in Canada. However, all of these items were available at the time for anyone to buy, therefore it being something of a hoax. But the image is a little eerie, to say the least. Buy. Order your stainless steel water bottle today. Click on the website below in the description, and check out these other fine Did You Know videos.